Hey, what's going on, Freedomers? Homeless day part 12. Homeless day 12. This is called vibrational upkeep. One of the things that I learned from the person who made me leave. I was watching an Elliot Hulse video, and he said about this woman, about this guy who his audience is guys, and it deeply resonated with me in my situation because a friend of mine called me and said, "Are you going through a breakup?" And I said, "Kind of, sort of." And it wasn't really a breakup. It was a breakup as far as two people breaking apart, but it wasn't. We weren't in a relationship. We weren't in an intimate relationship. And the guy and the girl have been together for 9 years and never separated, just attached to the hip, right? She found a social circle, got drunk, found a group of friends, and left. For lack of better words, they left. And when she left, what the fuck is this shit called? She left him for another. When she got a social circle, she got drunk and left him for another man, and he's been heartbroken. And like Elliot would say, I empathize with that. I understand that. I empathize and I understand that. But he said, you know what you do is you don't get bitter, you get better. And he said, how do you put yourself in a position where you're never going to be in this situation again? And that's real for me, because my situation is not about me getting bitter, but how can I get better so I'm never in a position where somebody can tell me to leave and I don't have no money saved, and it affects my livelihood. How do I put because this is the second time I've been in this position where somebody told me to leave and I didn't have no security for myself. How do I put myself in a position where I'm never there again? So I had to realize the three enemies that I've been dealing with for the past couple of years of my life is procrastination, porn, in an abbreviation and itself, and poverty. And those three things are the reason why I'm in this situation. Porn, how I put it off, and I wrote it down a couple of years ago, is putting off my reality now, or putting off my right now. And meaning I was never present. I was always jerking off my time. I was always wasting my energy. So instead of creating circumstances and creating streams of income and creating circumstances where I can be saving, I can be making money, and putting all my energy into creating 80% of my energy when I had a house for a year and 10 months was in distraction, was in her reality, solving her problems, and I was so distracted for a year and 10 months that I was so distracted by those three things, porn, poverty, and procrastination, that when shit got real, I didn't have nothing for myself. And I could make her the enemy, but as I studied deeply in spirituality, and even when I saw it in RSD Tyler, he was like, he said the same concept again. If you see it from a mortal perspective, you'll get very bitter, you'll get very angry, you'll get very disappointed, you'll get very frustrated. And even when I asked somebody to do a road opener for me before I left, the universe reminded me again, this is not your battle. This is not her battle. And she's not doing shit for me. She loves to show up on my lives, but she's not responding to my texts. She's not responding to my calls. She's not. I said, oh, how can you be on my live, but you don't know how to respond to my call? And I said she has till Friday to respond to me, or I block her on all social media because I'm not tolerating that. Like I don't do. She could keep the money because I made it back, and I don't do non-communication. Like I need people, especially if I bother with you, I need you to communicate, or I'll never do anything with you again, because that's a huge red flag for me. I don't like people who do, I don't know, and that rubs me the wrong way. I don't know if it's just me. I don't like people who do magic and they don't communicate with other people. I never understood that. If I'm praying for somebody, I need to communicate with them before and after the process. I don't just pray for them. Well, you can pray for somebody and you need to communicate with them. But if they know, you need to communicate with them, in my opinion. I don't believe if you're communicating, I'm gonna pray for you. You don't need to tell them every detail about what you prayed about and how you visualize them at that high self. I'm not saying all that, but come on, my nigga. Cause I had that done to me last time, and I had that done to me last time, and I had that done to me last time where somebody prayed over me, and I didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I didn't know what the fuck he did. I don't know where he did something. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he faked it. I don't know if he lied. I don't know nothing. I just know he said he prayed for me. I'm like, the fuck? I came all the way over here by Uber for you to pray for me? You could have did that on the phone. So, it's not for me to at this point to be bitter, to be angry, to be like that's actually at this point a waste of my time. I really got to put all my energy into becoming a lot better. And in every aspect, and it's sad, like in every aspect of my life, I have to do it myself. And every time I ask for guidance, it's like I don't know what it is. It's like there's no sense of real guidance for real, like step by step, showing by show. There's sometimes, but like I'm learning with women, the women I attract in my life, they're not leaders. They're followers. And what that means is they don't want to do the masculine thing of really leading. And what that means is you not just take somebody by the hand. I mean, like you are guiding a force that is to be like, I mean, somebody is copying where niggas could copy your blueprint and they blazing it. Like I learned a lot of women are just good at making money, but they're not good at leadership. And I realized that, women need to be better at leadership. And I know that's a very masculine quality, but part of success is great leadership. Not just making the money. Making the money is great, but that doesn't make you a great leader. It just means you know how to get to a bag. Because every time I ask a woman to lead me into something, she don't do it. She be bullshitting me. Like, when I say bullshitting me, meaning like I take what I can from her and then I gotta go do the rest of the shit myself. And it's like she guides me to the halfway mark, and then I gotta run the half of the way instead of her leading me to the promised land with me as a leader. And it's interesting because I guess it's because women are on the feminine side, so they're not leaders, they're receivers. They're not the leaders of the family. I guess in that regard. Even masculine women, meaning masculine sign women, they're not like leaders. They will lead you to an extent, and I would be bold enough to say this: they would lead you to the place that they're most comfortable. I don't meet a lot of women that will lead you. It leads you in places that are uncomfortable. I meet a lot of women who will only lead you to the place that they're comfortable, to the limit that they're comfortable. When they're uncomfortable, they ain't going. And I guess that's where the men step in. Because that's always the situation for me. Like when it comes to the place of being uncomfortable, I gotta go there alone. And you bring me in. Which is so like fascinating. It's extremely fascinating. I meet too many women who are so comfortable saying, yo, I'm only gonna lead you to the place that you're comfortable, to the place that I'm comfortable, or to the place that I see. I'm not gonna lead you to the place that I cannot see in the dark. And I'm like, yo, and I used to ask somebody as well, if you're gonna lead me, lead all the way. Don't lead some of the way. Don't lead half of the way. Lead all of the way. And that's why I say women could be building businesses and making money, but that's the most comfortable position. Women don't lead in uncomfortability. From what I've observed. Now, does that mean that women don't lead as far as like human rights and marching and blah, blah, blah? Yeah, but that's comfortable. That's not uncomfortable. Here's why I say that's not uncomfortable. Because we've done that before. We've seen that before. But if you ask a woman to lead past the marching, past all of that, past what we can see, it ain't happening. You need masculine energy for that. You need warfare. If you need women to enforce policy, that's not really happening by women. That's really happening by men. Enforcing structure, enforcing discipline, enforcing reality, I don't think that's a feminine thing. I think that's a masculine thing. And I say reality, not meaning the birth of it, but the actual physical manifestation of it flourishing in life is not a feminine attribute. It's a masculine attribute. From what I've experienced in my life. And that's why it's so difficult nowadays for women to take responsibility, because a lot of women don't lead past their uncomfort. So they'll only yell at you from their comfort zone. Meaning, I make money, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as an adult, boopity boop 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 boopity. Like, what just came to me is one of the reasons why women are taught, especially black women, are really taught to be independent, and they're so braggadocious about independent, is because it's really a poverty mindset thing. Most women, especially black women, have been only taught to be in survival mode. So when you really think about it, poverty consciousness is the first poverty consciousness people are the first people to brag about their independence. They're quick to brag about what they're supposed to do for their livelihood. Not really thriving. Not thriving. They don't brag about thriving. They brag about what they're supposed to do for their survival. And when I say their survival, I mean money, cars, clothes, the material stuff. That's your survival. That's not really thriving. I mean, especially from a woman's standpoint, if as a woman you're not really affecting the community, you're not really thriving. For real. If you really study femininity, if you're really not affecting your community because of your goals and your achievements, you're really not thriving. You're kind of you're in survival mode. You're doing what you're supposed to do as an adult for your family, if you really think about it. Poverty consciousness brags about what you do as an individual. And to be honest with you, like, you brag about how big you are as an individual. Because if you really think about it, if you're really thriving and successful, you're always talking about the team. You're not really talking about me. You're always bragging about how we run the world, not necessarily what I do in my house. That's where it starts. That's important. But I wouldn't even say poverty consciousness, but that's like riches. But some people, that's not real wealth for real. So some people will call that poverty because you only got you and your family. And that just means you haven't been hit with enough opposition. Rewind. If you get hit with enough opposition, you'll be destroyed. Right? So it's because we've been in such poverty consciousness for so long, we brag so much about what we do as individuals, not as a community. That's really poverty consciousness, for real. Because you don't achieve wealth without we. For real. If you really think about it, one of the reasons why I was so upset with myself, and I forgive myself, is because I had this opportunity and I didn't maximize on it. I used it, but I didn't maximize on it. So I didn't maximize on it to heal myself and reinvent myself. I used it as just a plane of stability. And when the train, like I said in a couple lives a couple months ago, when the person who was not elevating me, but she was transporting me from point A to point, let's say F. When she wanted me off the train, I had to get off. But why I was mad with myself was because I didn't stack enough chips to say, if she said to get off, you're getting off this train stop by this, that, and the third, I wasn't prepared for that. That's why I was mad at myself, and I can't blame the transporter for that. When we stopped at multiple stops for long periods of time. If we stopped at a certain place for 4 months, we stopped at another place for 4 months, we stopped at another place for 4 months, I can't be mad at her because I said, yo, even though I wish she would have taught me more in that time, I could have mastered myself in that time. I So I probably would have bought my own. I probably would have bought out the bus. I probably would have said, yo, I'll buy this bus for you. I got somebody for hire. And I would have been in control. Or I wouldn't even need to be, after a certain period of time, I wouldn't need to get back on the bus. But because I was always coming back on the bus with just enough to survive every quarter, every 4 months, every 3 months, I fucked myself because I was dependent on that train to be there, on that ride to be there. And I didn't forget, but I didn't constantly remind myself of who the truck driver was, who the transporter was, and I didn't remind myself of this is not forever. So when people did come to elevate me, I didn't take it seriously. I didn't move fast enough. I didn't move quick enough. You know? So because I was always in scavenger mode to live for today and a couple days after. And it's hard. It takes, and I'm learning, like eventually. I said I was going to save $50, and I already spent 30. I already spent 20, right? And I can't go no lower than that because I know that self-sabotage of me being back at $0. So I'm gonna make it back, and I said, yo, this is the last piece of food that I'm gonna eat out, and everything else is gonna be groceries. And unless I'm at the other park, unless somebody steals my stuff, which I highly doubt, but like I said, it comes to a place where I gotta I gotta go hard for myself. And like Elliot Hope said about that dude, it like he said the guy said in the video, he begged her, he wrote a 10-page letter twice, and she called him pathetic. And that's exactly, it's crazy. That's how I know I changed, because when she said all that stuff, I didn't text her back no long paragraph, because the reason why, because I spoke to her ex before, her baby father, about her before, and she sent me a long paragraph and this, that, and we both back and forth, and she ignored me most of our conversation. And she, like my Libra partner, like my Libra friend said so profoundly, she said, if you softened her up and said, yo, you're sorry, you're grateful, da 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 da, she'd soften up. And that was actually the truth, because I did that before and it worked. But this time I said, you're pathetic. You sound pathetic now. If you're gonna sit there and you know she a snake, you know she a clown, you know in the long term she's gonna lose the bet. She's winning the battle now, but in the long term, because of your age, because of your mindset, because of your discipline, in the long term she's gonna lose. She's gonna lose this valuable relationship. And I said, instead of cowering to her and saying, oh, please, take me back, could you put me in the other? I said, nah, I'm a boss up. Like Elliot Holt said, he said, yo, at the end, what you can do at the end of the day, he says, spend the next 10 years. I'm already on that path. I'm about to be I'm already on the 10-year path. So I would say, for me, instead of 10 years, spend the next 5 months bossing the fuck up. Don't get upset, boss the fuck up. And that's it. And the thing is, if it's crazy, that's damn, I forgot my lock. No, I didn't. Yeah, if I really feel away, go do something about it. If I really feel she a snake and she's not the best of, because think about it, who would I be if I settle for somebody who I know is not good for me? Who am I if I settle for somebody who I know is not good for my mental health, my emotional health, my spiritual health? Who am I? What type of person would I be if I do that, right? So instead of doing that, boss the fuck up. Boss the fuck up. Don't get angry. Don't get upset. Get angry and get upset, but more about anger and upset about helping yourself. Bossing the fuck up with yourself. And but even this lock says 99 on it. The lock is 918-0, so that's 99, right? 99, right? So that's the ending of a chapter, right? So that just confirms again, like, what was happening. Like, this is the ending of a chapter. This is not and 918-0. So 0 is God's number, right? So 918-0, right? So instead of, because that's another confirmation again. I could either boss up and it'd be a new chapter for me, or I complain and I say, oh, this is not gonna work out, I'm not good enough, and it's really like a test again to say, did you learn your lesson, or are you gonna sit there and you're gonna complain? So, like he said, man, it's a hard path and it's green. And it's the color is, I picked green. I really meant black, but green, I guess, is the color is the heart chakra. So I gotta renew my heart chakra and boss up. Yeah, I could go back, but for what? That means I'm not true to my word. That means I'm not true to what I say I am. And that's it.